I never saw this coming. I didn't plan for it, didn't expect to feel anything like this for him. But somehow, in the spaces between our conversations, the silences we shared, and the way he'd quietly look at me, I started to feel something I couldn't put into words. It wasn't a dramatic realization. It crept in slowly, gently, and now it's impossible to ignore. When I moved into the new house after Mom remarried, everything felt off. The rooms were unfamiliar, the faces friendly but strange, and I was still trying to settle in. Ryan, my stepbrother, was quiet at first. Not unfriendly, just reserved. We passed each other in the hallway sometimes, offering small smiles, but little else. He had a way of existing in a room without taking up space, never loud, never seeking attention, just present. I noticed that. And after a while, I realized he noticed me too. The first real interaction between us was over something trivial. I had left my charger in the living room. He was there watching a movie. I stepped in hesitantly, unsure if I should interrupt, but he looked up and asked, "Looking for something?" "Yeah, just my charger," I replied. He pointed to the coffee table. "It's right there." I picked it up, mumbled a thank you, and turned to go, but then he said, "You can sit if you want. Movie's not bad." I hesitated, then sat at the far end of the couch. We didn't talk much, just sat there. But something about that moment shifted things between us. We were a little more at ease after that. Short conversations turned into longer ones. Nothing deep, just comfortable. Soon, I caught myself thinking about him more than I meant to. I noticed little things, the way he always made his bed, how he helped clean up even when no one asked. He didn't do it for praise. It was just who he was. One night, I couldn't sleep and walked to the kitchen for water. He was already there, sitting alone with a glass in hand. He looked lost in thought. "Can't sleep?" I asked. He shook his head. "Not really." I poured myself some water and sat across from him. We didn't say much, but the silence wasn't uncomfortable. It felt natural. At one point, our eyes met. He didn't look away. Not right away. My stomach twisted with a feeling I didn't know what to do with. After that night, things subtly changed. We still didn't talk about it, but there was an unspoken understanding. I started looking forward to seeing him each morning, even if it was just a simple, "good morning." Sometimes I'd be reading, and he'd come sit nearby, not to talk, just to be there. Other times he'd help with the dishes without a word. We moved around each other with ease, like we were learning a rhythm. One day, I stepped into the backyard with my headphones, hoping to be alone. But he was already there, sitting on the grass with his eyes closed. I paused, unsure if I should interrupt, but he opened his eyes and saw me. "You can join me," he said, patting the spot beside him. I sat. We looked out at the trees, and he said, "Ever think about how strange life can be? Like how things change in ways you don't expect?" "All the time," I answered. He looked at me. "You being here, it changed things." "Good or bad?" I asked. "Good. But confusing," he admitted. I didn't know what to say, but I knew exactly what he meant. That moment stuck with me. And days later, when we were watching another movie together, something happened. We weren't really paying attention to the screen. I was too aware of how close he was. When our arms brushed, neither of us pulled away. "You feel it too, don't you?" he asked softly. I couldn't lie. "Yeah." "I don't know what to do with it," he said. "I've tried to ignore it, but it's not going away." "Me too," I whispered. From then on, we didn't say much more about it, but we felt it. Every glance, every word carried a weight. We never crossed any lines, but we couldn't pretend anymore either. One evening, we nearly bumped into each other in the hallway. He asked if I was okay. I said I was just tired. As I passed, he stopped me and said, "If this ever gets too hard, just tell me. I'll back off. I don't want to make things worse." Without thinking, I replied, "I don't want you to back off." He looked at me for a moment and said simply, then I won't. That night, I sat on my bed with a full heart, not broken, just overwhelmed. What we felt wasn't wrong. It was real. Complicated, yes, but honest. We started sharing more quiet moments. He waited for me after school. I found comfort in his presence during family dinners. We had our own language in glances and gestures. One afternoon, we walked through the park together. No reason, no plan, just needing to be near each other. If we'd grown up together, do you think this would be easier? He asked. Maybe, I said. But maybe it wouldn't feel the same. How so? He asked. Because I wouldn't have noticed you this way, not the little things. He didn't respond right.